Hi Harshit, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. So can you tell me something about yourself?
Yeah, sure, sir. And first of all, thank you for this opportunity.
Mhm,
Myself, Harshit Kumar, and I am from Mangalore. And I completed my BA in 2020, and I joined my current organization.
mhm,
It's been 3 years. I've been working as both. Most of the time I worked as automation tester and also a manual tester as well. So my skills are Selenium with Java, TestNG, and also OBDD Cucumber. And also I started my fundamentals and the project in API testing and also API automation with the REST assured. This is
mhm.
about me, sir.
Okay, great. So what kind of framework you have? On which framework you are working?
Okay, sir. So basically, I worked on two kinds of framework. It's a data-driven framework only with the page object model, and one more without page object model.
Mm,
So yeah, that's about high level. And in with page object model, we have the classes for each page, and where we have the locators and the methods, and we have a test script in a separate class where we call the page object, create the objects of page object class, and we'll call the methods. And we also have some generic methods in a separate class, and a folder for screenshot, folder for report,
mm,
and a testng.xml, pom.xml. That's a high level structure of our frameworks.
mhm. So you would be having src slash main slash Java. You also would be
Correct.
having src slash test
SRC
slash
test.
Java, right? So what is the difference between these two?
Okay. Basically, under SRC test Java, we will be having the test cases,
Mm,
test scripts and all. I think SRC mine Java, some Java generic methods, I feel.
mhm.
Page objects and all, we'll keep it under, SRC mine Java.
Right, right. So you would be using Maven, right?
Yes.
Hmm. So what will Maven do? So Maven is helping you to arrange this kind of dependencies, right?
Correct.
Now, whatever test, as you were mentioning, you are doing, right? That you have to deliver for your customer. So you will put that in the src slash test slash Java, right? And
Yes.
then whatever the packages that are there, that will go by default in the src slash main slash Java. Okay. And
Okay.
what will happen? The significance of having this kind of route is it is easier to find test related code inside your project, right? You can load
Mhm.
various libraries that are only used for testing, right? So that is
Okay.
the
Okay.
main difference between the two. Okay, so you were telling you are working on BDD. Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hmm. So how will you automate BDD scripts when the development is in progress?
Okay.
Hmm.
Basically, we write a feature file first, where we will write our requirements in a simple English word, and we'll keep it ideally. So once we run the feature file itself, a set of step definitions will be generated where we write the actual code. Yeah, we will be writing the actual code under step definition and running through test runner later whenever we have to run.
Hmm. Right. But the development is in progress. So what will you do at that time?
I think we can. I never come across such a scenario, but I think we can keep feature files and all ready, because we'll be knowing the requirements, functionalities, right? So
Hmm.
we can keep the feature files ready, and then we can go for step definitions and test runner once everything is ready.
Okay. Okay. Great. So in your resume, you have mentioned about the Git URL, right? You have,
Yes.
yeah. So I have opened that Git URL, right? So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So these all programs have been written by you and you have committed
Yes.
3 weeks before. Great.
Correct. These are a Java practice
Mm.
program which I had done for the
Uh-huh.
practice. Yeah.
Okay. And where is the rest assured code?
I think rest Azure I had to commit it, yet to push, sir. I think, yeah.
Okay, great. But this is cool. So you have all the code here. Fine.
I think
No.
I also have one one project which was done on a e-commerce website. I think uh, it's in a separate branch. I'm not sure. I think it's been few weeks I opened this. I
Okay.
need to
No.
revisit and arrange it properly actually.
Right, right. No worries. So whenever you are going to the interview, before that you can keep these things updated. This looks good.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Now, okay. So we were referring to that question whenever you have things going on in the development, it's in
Mm-hmm.
progress. Then what will you do with the BDD, right? Now in BDD, what happens is we are writing keywords. We are writing in the form of
Correct.
given, when, then, and.
And then,
When the development is in progress, so let's say you are using agile and you are working in agile methodology and you have got 8 to 10 points in your acceptance criteria of the user story.
mm-hmm.
Out of
Okay.
those points, 40% development is completed, 60% is in progress. So based on those 40% of development which is done, you can write test cases. From those test cases, you can at least start writing keywords.
Mm-hmm.
So this will actually save your time because many of us are already doing automation when the sprint is going on in the current sprint itself, right? So
Correct.
this would definitely help us to scale BDD and to save time also whenever we get things in testing
Just
100%, right? So 40% development is done. You can write keywords for those things, right? And that's where the BDD will be useful, because if you see any other frameworks in which you have to just write the code, you will have to wait for those mockups, or you will have to wait for the UI to be completed. Then and then only you would be able to find XPath locators and all those things. But in BDD, at least you can start writing keywords, right?
correct.
So this
Yeah.
is how you can do when you are in when you are using BDD framework. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in your resume, okay. Okay. Now let me share my screen. So I have opened your CV.
Okay.
Hmm, okay. Uh, hmm. So is the screen visible?
Yes, yes.
So in your CV, you have mentioned in one of the point that you have executed over 120 plus TestNG test, 100
Mm-hmm.
plus Catalan test cases, which reduced manual effort by 60%. Okay, resulting in improved product quality and accelerated product delivery. Okay, now my question is, how did you come to know, how did you reach to the conclusion that the manual effort has reduced by 60%?
Okay.
Mm,
Sir, whenever we execute, like we go for ROI, uh,
mm,
okay, and we'll calculate, like actually, if for an example, we automated 100 test cases. If we
mm,
actually manually execute them, how much time it takes?
mm,
We will have a estimation. We will know, right? Like how much time it takes to manually test those 100 test cases, and
mm,
we automate it, and we will go for a execution time, how much time it took for the execution.
mm,
So where we will just identify the difference, and we'll keep it like cumulatively. I found that around 60%.
mm, mm. Okay, okay. So let's say if you are telling you have automated, let's say you had 100 test cases, you have
Huh.
automated all of them. And earlier, when you were doing manual execution, it took somewhere around 8 hours. and now it's taking somewhere around 4 hours. So that's how you are calculating that your 50% of
Huh.
automation is done. Is it like that?
On an
Uh,
average, yes, 50% of time is saved is what
hmm,
calculated.
okay, 50% time is saved. Okay.
Hmm.
But then let's say you will have some changes in the application, right? Then
Correct.
if some locator gets changed, or out of those 100 test cases, there is some functionality which has it's getting an enhancement, right? So again, you will have to update your scripts, right?
Correct.
So you will have to tell in a resume, whenever you are going in a real-time interview, that this was on a high level estimation basis,
High level.
or you can
Yes.
say
Yes.
high
Yes.
level kind of the figures, the data, that the statistics that you have captured, right? Because
Correct. Correct.
these kind of data is, that is good that you have included in your resume. And the moment I opened the CV, I was those lines, those figures actually dragged the attention. So that is good. But then you should be able to explain such things, right? You
Yes.
can give
Yes.
some
Correct.
examples. 100 test cases, this much time it takes. Then the
Hmm.
second question will come. In a service based company, right? So you have two persons working, right? So earlier one
Correct.
person was able to complete in 8 hours. So now two-person you can involve and you can complete it in 4 hours. What is the need of automation, right? So that's how the questions will come. So you can answer, sir, instead of involving two persons, why don't we do the automate? Why don't we automate those 100 test cases, save some X% of time, and utilize those two members in some different area,
Hmm.
which
Different
is
role.
completely manual based, which cannot be automated, right? For example, rebooting the machine is involved, or somewhere where you have to install some like kind of licenses or some kind of keys you need, right?
Correct.
So that's how you can tell. Okay. Also,
Okay.
one more thing, in your resume, I just saw the second page is blank. Is it something?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I covered everything in a one page. I
Oh,
think it got added while saving.
okay.
I tried to include everything in a single page.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so that's a good thing. So you can remove the other page. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
now
Sure.
let us start with few other questions. Okay, so this is SQL based question. Okay, this is a
Okay.
table. Is the screen visible?
Ah.
Right. So
Yes.
this is one of the table in which you have, this is employee table. You have employee
Okay.
ID, project in
Mm.
which they are working, the salary, and the variable bonus that they have.
Mm.
Okay, now you have to write an SQL query to find the maximum, minimum, and average salary of the employees. Okay, for this
Okay.
table. So you have to write the query to find the maximum, minimum, and average.
Okay. Mm, max and minimum salary, right? And average salary.
Average salary.
Mm. I think I can say select um, max of salary from employee for
Select max
maximum
or maximum. Okay, so let's try to achieve all these things in a single query.
single
Maximum,
query.
minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think select max of salary as a maximum, comma. I think the min of salary as minimum, and AVJ of salary as average from the table name.
Mhm. Right. So this is how it would be the
Correct.
query. Select max in the bracket salary, comma
Mhm.
min, salary, comma average from employee.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, what is queue interface in Java?
Um, it's one of the collection where
Hmm.
uh, first come first out based collection, I can say, and I don't have much exposure, and I need to
Okay.
explore queue and other collections.
Hmm.
Basically, working on list, set, and map ideal.
Okay. Okay. So queue interface is nothing but it's present in the java.util package, and you
Mm.
are right, it will extend the collection interface, right?
Collection,
It
yes.
is used to hold the elements which are to be processed in first out order, FIFO. Okay, so it works
Yes.
on first in, first out
First
principle.
and first.
It is it will work for the ordered list of objects, right? With its used limited
Yes.
to
Yes.
inserting elements at the end of the list and deleting the elements from the beginning, starting of the list.
Beginning.
Okay, so this is fine. Okay, now I'll share my screen. So this is an array.
Okay.
This is the
Okay.
array. I'll also share in the chat box. You are supposed to write a Java program to find the minimum and maximum element in this particular array. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm giving you screen sharing rights. You can share your screen. Yeah, so you can share your screen.
I can do it in a notepad or
Whichever you are
anywhere.
comfortable. Yeah, whichever
Okay.
you're comfortable.
Okay, sure. Hope my screen is visible. So
Yes, yes.
okay, we need to find the maximum and minimum, right? Yeah. So yes, what I'll do, I'll just assume that I'll try to execute. We'll see.
Right, so you can run this program.
No. Yeah, 423 and 1.
Right. So you have used for loop. Is there any other way?
Um, I think there might be some methods which might reduce the number of lines,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not able to recall.
Mm-hmm. No worries. So can you explain this program?
Sure. So first of all, yeah, I have max and min, variables in integer, and I can have it as a zero also. Both I can assign it to zero, or I just assume that the first element is a minimum. Okay. Anyhow, if it is actually minimum, it will stay as it is, or else it will be altered here somewhere here. So then I'm starting from zeroth index to the till the length of this um, array. Then each iteration I'm increasing by one in I into I plus one. So first of all, I'm comparing with the this first element with the max. If it's okay, I can start from I plus one. Actually, I can start from one also, or yeah, I'm just comparing if it's the first one is greater than the assumed one. If it is yes, then the max will be that the greater one. Then the same thing for the minimum condition also. I have one more if block where I'm comparing the first the ith element with the minimum element. If it is less, then the minimum will be assigned to the new value, uh, which is ith element in the array. Like that, it will iterate till the end. So at the end of the iteration, max will have the maximum and min will have the minimum value that is printed here.
Correct. Okay, now let me share my screen. I'll show you one more way which you
Okay.
can write,
Yeah.
and that will optimize.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen. So this is the program. Let me put this above.
Okay. Sort.
Mm. So you can find, you can use inbuilt function sort in Java. Hmm.
Correct.
And
Arrest also.
whenever, yeah, so whenever, as soon as you will sort, the value at the 0th position will be minimum, and the value at the nth position will be the maximum. Arrays dot sort.
Correct.
So you can use this program. You can also use this approach in a real-time interview, whichever approach you will take. If you would have taken this approach, then also the interviewer will ask, okay, is there any
That's
other
the other
way?
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they will ask you based on the approaches, based on how will you optimize this particular code, how will you reduce the lines, how will you make sure that the output is coming in minimum time. So two or three
Yes.
mechanisms, two or three approaches you should write. And after
Okay.
explaining one solution, you can also write, sir, there is one more solution. I'll allow me to write something like that. So he'll come to know, okay, you have multiple. Or before writing also, you can have a conversation. Okay, there are two approaches which are coming in my mind. This is one approach A, this is approach B. Approach B will be more optimized as per my point of view. Do you want me to write both the programs, or do you want me to write one of the program? So
One of the program.
yeah, make it interactive, the interview. So it would be
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Uh, hmm. Now let's come to the Selenium based questions. Hmm. What is TDD?
Um, Actually, there are two: behavior-driven development and test-driven development.
Hmm.
In TDD, we actually write the test cases and uh, we'll execute it, and it will fail. Then again, we'll refactor it, and like that, that iteration will continue unless we'll get the finished, script. So
Hmm.
that how it goes.
Okay.
Test-driven development.
Test driven development, right? So when do you get no such element in in Selenium?
Suppose we are trying, we have a locator and we might be having dot click or a send case,
Hmm.
but the WebDriver not able to find that element itself on the UI. There is no such expert. Expert might be valid, but there is no such web element. So might be we will be getting no such element exception.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. How will you fix this no such element exception?
Um, First of all, we should be knowing like, or else we can go for try catch. I think that's the best approach.
Mm,
Under try, we will have the code. It might throw exception. Suppose click send case or any such operations, we can have it inside try block.
mm,
And when it catch exception, we can have some code inside catch. So like that, we can handle through try catch. I think that is the best way, I feel.
mhm. Okay. So you will be using try catch, and if the
Okay,
element is not found, it will go to the catch.
correct.
Okay. So what is the difference between element not found exception and no such element exception?
Um, Element, uh, I think it's very,
Hmm.
there might be very minute difference. I'm not
Hmm.
able to recall.
No worries.
I think,
See,
yeah.
no, yeah, yeah. You want to try?
I think no such element.
Hmm.
It comes when the element is not available on the UI, is what I feel. And element not found. Uh, Again, it might be there earlier, but not now. Okay, it's a stale. Okay, I'm not sure, sir. You can help
Mhm.
me out in that.
Okay. See, no such element exception and element not visible exception both are very similar.
Yeah.
No such element exception
Mm.
will be thrown when the element does not exist at all on the web page. Okay.
Okay.
Element not visible exception will be thrown when an element exists, but it is hidden. So the web driver cannot find and interact with it, right? It is somewhere hidden. Then you will be getting element
Correct.
not
Correct.
visible exception.
Correct. When the pop-up or something is or the element, in
Hmm.
such cases, I think we will get, yeah.
Hmm. What is tail element reference exception?
This exception occurs when suppose a web element which was there, but now I navigated to another page or refresh the page. In such cases, it is missing in the DOM, because of which we'll get stale element exception.
Mhm. Right. Okay, what are listeners in Selenium?
Okay, listeners, it will listen to the certain action to happen. Suppose in reports we can use on test pass what should happen, one test failure, one test skipped. In such case, we can use listener in order to log the some sentence or some information to the report. So basically, listeners are listen to certain action to happen, and it does some other action accordingly based on the actions. And we have iTest listener, iReporter, and other test engine listeners.
Mhm. Okay, what do you know about keyword driven framework?
Okay, keyword driven framework, it's kind of framework where certain keywords, suppose we have some actions performed, right,
Mm,
which is separated from the actual test cases, so that it made generic and we can call from other test cases whenever required. So basically, actions performed are separated from the actual test cases.
mhm. Right, so you will be having certain keywords. For example, you will have
Keywords.
login keyword on the
Mhm.
basis of which you will have code of login itself. So wherever you have to implement, you can just call that keyword and it will run.
Correct. Yes.
Mm, okay. Now this is a manual testing scenario based question. Uh,
Okay.
the screen would be visible now. Hmm. So the database is migrated from one system to another system. Okay, earlier you were having some X
Okay.
database. Now it has been migrated to Y database. So what all testing types are required to ensure that the quality is not getting compromised? And how will you do the testing? What are the different testing types and what would be your testing strategy?
Okay. First of all, functional side, I can say regression is required is what I feel to make sure that all data are populating properly on the UI, because there is a migration with respect to database, right? So there might be delay in data appearing on the UI or something like that. So I'll go for regression end to end. I'll make sure that because of this change, no other functionalities are impacted. And also, I think we can go for performance testing as well. Suppose a data retrieval might be taking time. Who knows? I mean, that it might be impacted. Not sure. So we can go for performance testing as well, and regression. These two are what I can feel. And also, from API perspective, we can check the APIs whether the response are generated properly, whether it's able to fetch the details within the duration. I mean, the response time we can check.
Okay. So the testing strategy would be you will ask the development team to provide the impacted areas. Okay, there are times
Impacted.
when, so the entire database is migrated. So definitely all the functionalities would be getting impacted, but you will have to get some pointers from the development team. What are the impact areas? So, and what is the level of impact? For example, in some functionality, there is 10% of this impact. In some functionality, there is 50 to 60% of impact. The main core
Correct.
functionalities need to be tested. So regression testing you will do, retesting you will do, a sort of automation testing, whatever suits or whatever scripts you have created, those you will execute. And then performance, which you highlighted. So performance also you will do. What you will do before the database migration, you will capture the statistics of the functionality run, or maybe add to cart is taking this much amount of time, right?
Yes.
Checkout is taking this much before and after. You will again
After.
you will again capture those statistics and you will compare before versus after. The performance should be improved after changing
Correct.
the database or migrating the database, or it should be same as before, but it should not get you know increased. The time level should not get increased, right? The performance should be improved. So that is regression testing is done, performance done. Then you will also see the security testing. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, from the security perspective, you can also check the data in the new database is also going encrypted or not. For example, password was stored as with some kind of encryption, AES 256 encryption in the older database. Is that being maintained in the newer database as well? So those things you will have
Okay.
to validate. So yeah, this will be done. And testing strategy again, you will provide that manual effort, you will provide automation effort, and then some kind of high level testing again you will have to do. Functional testing, then regression testing for all the features, modules you will have to do. Right. And once it is done, then you can sign off. Okay. So this was
Okay.
about manual. Okay, Harshit, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
First of all, thank you for this opportunity, and yeah, I want to know the feedback if you can give
Right, right.
on the interview. Yeah.
So feedback is, see, your Java is good. Just go through those collection related concepts. If you are going for being interviewed in a good company, in a MNC company like Google or even Mckinsey, then you will get those kind of questions related to collections, linked list, right? Then the second thing is, yeah, you can also get some questions related to thread count. Okay, once if you start with the data structures, then those kind of questions will be coming in the second round. They will not come in the first round. First round questions were like Selenium that we discussed. Again, Java programming related questions that also you will get. So you will have to practice more in that.
Okay.
Right. But apart from that, I think it was good, right? You just have to revisit few of the things, but I think you are prepared 75 to 80%.
Yeah.
So there
Yes, sir.
is not an issue. Communication is good. Resume is too good. Just remove the second page from that CV.
Sure.
And in the Git, add that repository of rest assured also, because during your introduction you mentioned about rest assured. So immediately I clicked on that link. Right. So interviewer will go through those Git links. It depends on them, but they will go.
Correct.
Then yeah, I think rest all looks good. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Harshit.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.